Hello, everyone. Welcome to another pop-up live stream where we bring you the freshest listing, epic launches, and of course, giveaways that will have you glued to your screens. I'm Shadi, your host for today. And trust me, we've got something big for you today. Before we jump into the excitement, we want to remind you that there are giveaways at stake. So who doesn't love crypto, right? So stay tuned and be ready for those rep packets that are dropping through the stream so you don't want to miss out. Okay, so make sure you kind of go into the comment section, drop us a little Bitcoin emoji or a little like. Let us know that you're here. Go, and let us know. Let's see, is everyone in the comment section? Is the comment section live? Everyone, we already see like 1.1K likes. We want to see some more likes. Come on, drop some more likes in there and give us some more love. So before we introduce our guests and before we go into our red packet giveaways. Great. So as you can see on your screen on the right side, you'll see a little countdown timer for the first red packet. So make sure as soon as that countdown timer drops to 0, you click claim now so you can actually be eligible for that red packet. Okay. I can see a lot of people saying hi, hello everyone. Say good evening from Japan, good morning. Some people from, is that Romania? I can see a Romanian flag. I can see some bells. Cool. All right, great. So let's get down to business. Today, we're super pumped to introduce to you something groundbreaking that's launching tomorrow. Everyone meet deBridge. deBridge is not just any old bridge. It's the light-speed bridge that's transforming the way liquidity and information moves across chains. And let me tell you, this is no small feat. They've onboarded over 400,000 new users in just 6 months and have already settled maybe north of $4 billion in volume. Talk about a fast track to success. Now, to give you a little bit more insight into how deBridge is shaking things up, we've got Alex, the co-founder, and Gal, the Chief Business Development Officer, here with us today. Can we see if they are on here today? Great. Hey, Alex, how are you? And hey, Gal.
Hey.
Hello, guys.
How's everything going? Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you. It's going great, exciting week. And yeah, it's been super eventful. And tomorrow is like a very important day for us. We're transitioning toward DAO, passing on control to community, and all deBridge user. And yeah, that's super exciting.
Yeah,
everyone's everyone excited for October. So I'm guessing you guys are happy about it too.
Yeah, hopefully. So far, so good, and yeah, like Q4 and October in general should be a very good month for markets, for DeFi, and yeah, even for meme coins. I guess.
Cool.
That's one of the drivers as well.
Gal, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing good. No, super excited for this. It's like years of work coming down to like these next few days, and yeah, it's really good to see people seem really excited. So. Yeah, the sentiment's been good and makes us excited to see this feedback.
Okay, amazing. So I think we could just jump right into it. Could you guys tell us a little bit more about yourselves and what deBridge is all about so that our community can know a little bit more about your project?
Yeah, sure. I can start. My name is Alex. I'm co-founder at deBridge, one of the devs who is doing something. But yeah, I'm one of the technical developers. I basically one of the designers of the protocol. And yeah, in deBridge, we've taken like quite a unique set of decisions when we started to build the bridge because cross-chain space has been challenging. We've seen like so many security incidents, so many problems with the scalability and capital efficiency. And from the day one, we were thinking how do we innovate? How do we make this space be way more secure and way more efficient? And yeah, that's what made us to innovate and to implement zero TV model where we don't use any liquidity pools. But yeah, from the very beginning, our goal was to interconnect DeFi in real time, because internet makes magic happen by connecting people in real time. When we send message to someone, we don't want to wait for 15 minutes. And we believe that for bridging, it should be the same. DeFi should be well connected in real time. And life is too short to wait for 15 minutes, until your bridging transaction will get settled. And that's exactly what we are solving for. We are building DeFi's Internet of Liquidity in order to enable instant transfers of information and liquidity between different chains.
Of course. No, it sounds amazing. Let's get our community involved. Let's just remind everyone that you guys can drop in your questions in the chat box, and we'll select a few of your questions to ask the deBridge group at the end of the live stream. But hey, let's get everyone involved. Everyone drop a DBR in the chat. Let's see how many people can drop a DBR in the chat. DBR, we can see the first one and see the rows. Stop, DBR, come on, more DBRs. Say DBR. Okay, great. I can see a lot of people typing DBR in the group in the comment section. Okay, so next question is, so what makes deBridge different from other bridges out there? Why should users choose deBridge over like the competition?
Yeah, I can chime in on this. So yeah, early on, we, like Alex said, we noticed the cross-chain landscape was just not ready for mass adoption, and it was a bit of a clunky UX, waiting 15 minutes, 20, even like 30 minutes in some situations, never being able to cancel the order, slippage, and all these things that make it like a clunky UX. So we stepped back and we realized, like with our V1, that okay, something really needs to change, and then it all clicked to us, and we pioneered this idea of a zero TVL model. So instead of liquidity coming from pools, it's coming from like solvers on destination chains. So instead of like a AMM approach, we're taking like a networking approach, and we managed to break down a lot of these inefficiencies by doing this, such as like much more scalable, near instant settlement, no slippage, guaranteed rates, and really almost like a centralized exchange UX, but on chain. So yeah, so far the feedback's been good. People have been finding out about us, and yeah, like at the beginning, people really like criticize our approach, that it's like it's very new and it's not going to work. And now it's like people are starting to realize, okay, this is like the new way of doing things, with like a more intent-based model.
Yeah, because the status quo was to use liquidity pools, right? Whenever you did the cross-chain transfers with the classical bridge, you basically put your liquidity in the big pool on one chain, and then you get your transfer settled like in 15, 20 minutes from the liquidity pool on another chain. And price discovery was happening like through AMM curves. And that approach is not efficient, because like it has a bunch of bottlenecks. First, the bottleneck in terms of scalability. Like if there is only $2 million in the liquidity pool, there is no way you can make like $3 million transaction. Plus, the liquidity pool itself, like a big honeypot for hackers. That's why we've seen like so many security incidents and problems in the cross-chain space. Yeah, as Gal mentioned, we just realized that these the bridging technology can be more efficient if you get rid of pools and use a non-classical networking model where like private market makers or solvers can be used for settlement. So on deBridge, whenever user creates the transfer, he basically creates an intent where he says, look, guys, I'm giving you 100 USDC on Polygon if you can provide me with 99 USDC on Solana. And as soon as intent is created, like all the solvers, all the market makers can see it, right? And the first solver that fulfills intent on Solana and provides liquidity upfront will be able to unlock 100 USDC on the source chain and earn the spread, right? Which is normally like 0.04%. So yeah, it's like we were the first to pioneer cross-chain intents. And intent model is like very, very interesting. Like speaking intent is when you want to give someone a task. It's like, if you want to buy a bottle of milk in the grocery store, and the bottle of milk costs like $5, you can pay your friend, guys, I give $10 to anyone who will go to the store and bring me that bottle of milk, right? And the solver, like your friend who will fulfill your task, will go for it and like earn $5 difference from this, from the execution of this task. So yeah, that's basically how it works for the cross-chain space as well. And the interesting thing here is that on deBridge, like solvers also compete for the speed, because only the first one is able to execute the trade and unlock users' liquidity on the source chain, earning that price difference. That's why deBridge is like super fast. The UX is like very similar to centralized exchanges, and it takes just like seconds, to get the cross-chain transfer executed, which enables like new level of UX.
Amazing. Think. Okay. Great. Sorry, I think something happened to the audio for a bit, but anyway, I hope everyone can still hear us. But great. Fantastic explanation. That's amazing to hear what deBridge is all about and what it's accomplished so far. And like, it's an amazing analogy that you offered about how your friend kind of goes to a store and kind of earns money back when they make it. I think is it a transaction, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Now, just because we're starting to approach like the moment of the first red packet, let's ask a little bit of a DeFi question to the community, and let's see if they know more about this. Does everyone know what slippage is? Can you tell us in the comments? Do you know what slippage is? Offer us a quick explanation. Let's see who has the best explanation for what a slippage is.
Yeah.
Let's see what people answer.
deBridge users don't know what slippage is because we don't have slippage.
Okay, let's see what other people, if they know what slippage is. Okay, we got someone who says, I don't know. Slippage refers to the discrepancy between the expected price of a trade and the price at which the trade is executed. That's a good explanation. Yep, which your order is executed does not match the price at which was requested. Amazing. Like, there's a lot of people that are actually answering it correctly. That's great. Come on, tell us where you guys are from. Drop in your country flags in the comments. Let's see where everyone's from. We're approaching 5 minutes onto the first red packet. Starting to see a lot of people. Oh, we see Philippines. We see South Africa. We see the Emirates. We see Finland, Australia, Poland, Pakistan, Malaysia, Ukraine. Wow, a lot of countries, a lot of people from different areas around the world. Amazing. Okay, great. Let's jump into the third question. And I think this is going to be exactly right at the time when the first red packet comes about. What are your plans for Q4 at the moment, and what's in store for 2025? And can we expect a little bit more explosive growth? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, in terms of growth, like deBridge has already become the biggest bridge economy. And that's because of the zero TVL design, because the protocol has zero liquidity cost. Like, it does not need to distribute incentives in order to attract liquidity to the pool. It does not need to distribute incentives to retain liquidity in the pools, because it's just-in-time liquidity provided by solvers or market makers or MEV searchers, basically everyone who compete for the order flow to fulfill users' trades flowing between different blockchains that deBridge supports. And so far, deBridge is the only profitable bridge because of this design. It's generated more than $13 million in revenue and pure profit that is accumulated to deBridge DAO, right? And the treasury and the ecosystem will eventually be governed by all the token holders. So yeah, in terms of capital efficiency, it's like very new and innovative design, and it proved to be working very well. And yeah, in terms of the plan for Q4, so we have lots of interesting ideas and product features that we will unlock. But the interesting fact here is that deBridge is the biggest bridge for the Solana ecosystem. And we are planning to make Solana to be a global standard for stablecoin payments. And to enable this, we will be adding support of Tron because Tron is the big ecosystem in terms of TVL, and like USDT has more than $60 billion there. So that will enable like very efficient liquidity rails between Tron, Solana, and all the other ecosystem that we already support. And that will create like additional revenue flows for the DAO and deBridge infrastructure as well. The second like big unlock will be Bitcoin blockchain, because everyone, like all the DeFi protocols, DeFi primitives will have like truly decentralized Bitcoin that is custodied by decentralized infrastructure. And like some people are getting skeptical about like WBTC, and deBridge looks just to be a great fit here because it's the most secure infrastructure to date, and deBridge validators can just play the role of custodians. So people will be able to trade natively any asset on any chain into native Bitcoin with instant settlement happening on Solana, thanks to its fast finality. Gal, maybe you can add some other plans that you have in mind in terms of integrations, and BD.
Yeah, so like one big one is we want to enable the ability for users to have gasless transactions. So where they simply just have to sign a transaction, and then the solver on the other end just organizes everything for them in simple terms, rather than needing to think about like whether they have ETH or Sol on their wallet. So just like creating again that more seamless, like almost like a centralized exchange UX. So that's like one of the big ones in our roadmap. And another one is like same chain intent. So similar to what we're doing on cross chain, but also on a single chain. So users can do it all in one UI, so they don't have to worry about switching to another UI to do something on the same chain. Yeah, I think those are like a few of the big ones. And then lastly, ecosystem expansion. So we're going to continue to implement new ecosystems into the infrastructure, and allow even like well-known applications such as like Jupiter, Solflare, Birdeye, and all our ecosystem partners to have that ability to onboard users to their applications. So as we're not just like an application, but we're also an infrastructure that other applications can leverage to enable that instant onboarding experience.
Yeah. Sorry to just stop you right there. So there's 30 seconds left for the first red packet. A reminder, this red packet is for all users. It's not just for you new users. So everyone can join in. Okay, so make sure you click that button as soon as the timer counts down. We got 20 seconds left. Good luck to everyone getting those red packets. And we still got people joining in. I think we're at, so far, almost 4K viewers, which is amazing. We still got comments rolling in. People have like amazing questions to ask for deBridge. Looks like the first red packet just got claimed by a lot of people. Yep, a lot of people just claimed the red packet. Wow, that's a lot. There's a lot of users. And
airdrop.
there. Yeah, I think there's so many users that joined in. There you go, split. Amazing. Please continue. You were saying about your road plan and what we can expect as well.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything, So the goal is like to scale deBridge. So far, deBridge has become like the most secure and the most capital efficient bridge economy. It's basically the only bridge that is profitable now and managed to capture value. Because like on deBridge, all the users pay small transaction fee for the transfer, and we never positioned ourselves as zero fee bridge, because decentralization and security always have cost, right? And that's why it's like very important to be able to have value capture mechanism for the technology and the protocol as well. And on deBridge, the users they know what they're paying for in terms of fee, because that's the most secure infrastructure data and the fastest. So basically, all the users pay for reliability, security, and speed. And what we are really proud of, like in our team, that we managed to achieve like very high level of security standards, and we're doing that not only like through security audits and like the best security practices, but also by achieving this like innovative design where like we don't have locked liquidity, statically locked liquidity, because like if that zero TVL model, then there is nothing to hack, and that makes things to be way safer than in classical bridges based on TVL and liquidity pools.
Okay, amazing to hear. Well, I think everyone should be excited about all the things that you have coming up in the future, and hopefully your community will still kind of grow and learn more about what you guys do, and maybe it'll start being applied to almost everywhere around the world. And finally, the big day is tomorrow. How excited are you guys about the listing, and what's the plans? Are you gonna celebrate once it's live, or is it just another milestone where you just kind of take it easy and then move on to the next step?
Gal, how will you celebrate tomorrow? I guess that's gonna be a busy day, first of all.
I think I'll keep it simple. I'll have a nice dinner with friends or something like that. Yeah, we really see it as the kind of like the beginning of the journey. So yeah, just gonna celebrate in a humble way.
Yeah, first of all, we've taken quite a unique approach in terms of the launch as well, because we are launching DBR simultaneously across all the venues, and we have quite a few channels for the DBR distribution. We have the airdrop, and that comes to 500,000 users. Basically, 500,000 addresses are eligible to claim. And it's quite interesting because like we are the first project that pioneered this claim to SEX flow, where users were able to request the claim of the airdrop directly to their SEX accounts. And Bybit is one of the biggest exchanges, like thousands of users claim their airdrop to Bybit. And it's very interesting because like the total amount of the airdrop is like 6% of the total supply, and like 3.6% of it was claimed to various centralized exchanges. And that's quite interesting because like users will be able to trade just like from the first minutes after a listing. And airdrop is the first distribution channel, right? The second one is like LFG launch. We partner up with Jupiter, and Jupiter DAO like voted to have deBridge on their LFG launch pad. Basically, the vault was closed just like 20 minutes ago. And yeah, the LFG is one of the important milestones for us as well. Basically, yesterday, like early whitelisted users, those who use deBridge for 10 different days, as well as Jupiter stakers, were able to participate in this LFG. And yeah, there was like big involvement from Jupiter community, and those who participated like during the last 24 hours will be able to start claiming their tokens tomorrow as well at 8 a.m. UTC. And plus on-chain trading and trading on the centralized exchanges starts at the same time. So yeah, it's going to be like huge moment, and it's quite interesting that like in our case, it's just like everything starts simultaneously, trading on Texas, trading on DEXs, plus the airdrop claim and the LFG claim. And yeah, we'll see how it will unfold, but super exciting day. And like in our team, we even plan, to eventually like coming month or Q4 to make finally the offsite event somewhere and just like celebrate this. As mentioned, that's just the start, because we transitioned to how we pass control over the ecosystem and infrastructure to community and token holders. But yeah, after that, the goal is just like to scale, to make deBridge even faster. It's already the fastest bridge, it's already the most secure bridge. But the goal is like to keep raising the standards, to keep pushing these limits forward, and like improve UX for users, because we iterate a lot on the product itself, simply because of all the feedback loop we get from our community and users. And yeah, we always appreciate if you guys like join the community, and participate in the project itself. Like the governance will be important part and one of the main utilities for the DBR as well, because I see in the chat there are many questions coming from community about like how DBR will be used. So yeah, maybe we can answer those questions as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're gonna answer a little bit more questions of our community in just a sec. So at the moment, we have our second red packet, which is live in 4 minutes, but this is only for new users. The first one was for all users. Of course, we had a lot of people who claimed it, so there was So a lot of people had to share it. But then the second one is for new users. So this is a new user exclusive. We try to be as fair as possible. But don't worry, there's also a giveaway that we're going to announce in a bit, which is live for everyone, not just new users and not just old users. So yeah, keep an eye on that countdown on the bottom right for all the new users who've just joined in. You'll be able to claim your prize, your new red packet. Now, keep dropping in your questions for deBridge so we can answer them at the end of the session. But let's see if everyone had a crypto project and they were about to list on Bybit, how would you celebrate? Drop your answers in the comment section. Let's see how people would celebrate if they had their own token and they listed on Bybit. How would you celebrate?
Some suggestions.
I would love to see how people would celebrate if they had their token listed on Bybit.
Just get some sleep. You know, that's
just get some sleep.
The best celebration.
Sleep during the day of listing. It just I think it's the same thing when people sleep on New Year's Eve because they don't want to celebrate. They just want to sleep and they want to wake up on January 1st. So someone said, I will do a community project to help the needy. That's actually very nice. That's not bad. Great. So as we discussed before, there's you can start trading deBridge or DBR, their ticker, on our spot pre-market right now. You don't actually have to wait until tomorrow, and you can get a head start from now. But like we said, we do have an amazing giveaway. And it's 900,000 DBR token splash that we've got for you. Be sure to get your hands on those juicy awards because that's an amazing prize pool for everyone. It won't be around forever. It's for everyone to claim. So that's 900,000 DBR. So make sure to head to our spot pre-market right now, trade or deposit your DBR tokens, and tomorrow you can start trading them on Bybit. Great. So let's take a few of the questions that people have taken in, even though right now, and within a few seconds, everyone's going to start claiming the new users are going to start claiming the second red packet. But let's start taking some of the questions that people have sent in. Let's see what is a good question to ask you guys. So someone has asked, do you have any collaborations planned for the project? Something exciting, some exciting partnerships?
Sure. The red packet is right now, or?
The red packet is right now. Yeah, everyone's starting to claim it now.
Okay. Awesome. Good luck, guys. So yeah, what was the question?
The question is, do you guys have any amazing, like, do you have any partnerships or collaborations planned for the project?
That's a question to Gal, definitely.
Yeah.
Of course, video would know.
Yeah, so sometimes with some of the partnerships we have now are like really good, and it's really helping like for like people to find out about us, and not just like find out about us, but also have the ability to like to enhance their own applications. So like can't reveal too much, but we're planning to expand that more horizontally. So increase the use cases and the wallets that have access to deBridge. When I mean by use cases is things like cross-chain deposits and the ability to have this like chain abstraction UX basically. So what I mean by that is like you can without deBridge infrastructure, you can tie in an instruction to a cross-chain transfer. So it's like transfer plus something. And this is like with these intents, like applications can enable this UX where users don't even have to think about which chain they're on. And these are the kind of use cases we see for mass adoption, where users don't even have to like think about this idea of bridging. It's all abstracted to the back end, and yeah, we do all the we do all that work for them basically. Because like, you know, if we want to like onboard, you know, millions, hundreds of millions of people into crypto, likely they don't want to think about this idea of bridging, and they just want to have like this one-click experience. So these are the kind of partnerships you'll start to see in the coming months and years.
Yeah, and deBridge Plus getting integrated into various wallets, applications, and if you open up our Explorer, you know, explore.dbridge.finance, you can see the points leaderboard. Right? In deBridge, we automatically account points, like deBridge points, to all the users and integration partners, and then we have like distribution seasons. And this airdrop that we have literally tomorrow is basically the airdrop that is done for the first season of our points campaign. And you can see various integration partners right in the top of the leaderboard. So for example, Jupiter is like in the top one because they have deBridge API and deBridge widget integrated into Jupiter app. And that's why like lots of users from Jupiter community and from Solana community are using deBridge. And these are kind of integration that we are like very excited about, you know, because people can trade natively between chains at the very fast speed, and plus deBridge can be integrated like natively under the hood into any wallet application, so that users don't need to think about like what bridge should I use. They can just transfer or trade directly any liquid asset on one chain for any liquid asset on another. Imagine if you guys like want to supply liquidity to like lending protocols such as Camino on Solana, but you have only like USDC on Ethereum, right? You don't need to think about like what bridge to use. You can just like open Camino app, you know, click one button and get your liquidity deposited to the protocol without even knowing that deBridge is used under the hood. So yeah, this is kind of user experience that we want to achieve, where users like don't need to think about the infrastructure. They can just like natively interact with any application on any chain and like focus specifically on user experience.
Okay, cool, fantastic. I think people need to just stay tuned to find out more about everything that you got in store. There's another question which is kind of interesting. How do you plan to educate users and onboard more people into the deBridge ecosystem, especially those unfamiliar with cross-chain technology?
Okay, I can take this one. So first of all, like we want to make user experience to be at the level where like users don't need to know, you know, or don't need to learn about the bridges. They can just like open the app, as I mentioned, and interact natively. But what I really think is important to understand is like what bridges to use, right? Like security is super important, because like whenever you guys use like the DeFi primitives, or whenever you guys use bridges, you give approval to the smart contracts, right, on the event chains. That's why it's like super important to interact only with reliable protocols and projects that has like the perfect track record, you know, especially in the cross-chain space. Yeah, and this is like something that is important to educate on, you know, like so that people understand all the security risks, like security model, and specifically like these bridges that keep their funds safe. Yeah, so this is how I see it.
Yeah, and what are some of like there's another question. What are some of the benefits of holding or staking DBR tokens?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the main utility for DBR is governance. Basically, all the token holders will be able to stake. So staking is the utility number one, to participate in governance decisions, right? Like users will be able to do proposals and vote for proposals, and basically participate in the decision-making process for the DAO. Like the second important utility is basically restaking. So we will have like restaking mechanism where staked DBR token can be restaked for deBridge validators, right? Because any bridge has like the validation layer and messaging. So in our case, with validators, like deBridge will become one of the first bridges that enable economical security guarantees, where users can stake like real liquidity, stake DBR and other assets for the validator, and participate in the protocol's economy. And governance of the treasury is also like the very important aspect here, because as we mentioned, deBridge is the most profitable cross-chain infrastructure to date, and the protocol has generated $13 million so far, like around 12 of which were generated during the last year alone. And we expect that the protocol revenues will scale as we support more blockchain ecosystems, as we add more chains and implement like more features such as gasless trading that Gal mentioned. And like basically DAO will be in charge of this treasury and decide on how treasury should be used, how the DBR ecosystem reserves controlled by governments should be used as well.
Okay, awesome. Someone asked also an interesting question, and this is more like a vision for the future. Where do you see deBridge and DBR in 5 years? And what are some of the key milestones you expect to see ahead?
Gal, feel free to chime in if you I know you have like lots of thoughts about this, but I think that we keep building the biggest bridge economy, and in 5 years our goal is to make sure people are using the most secure cross-chain infrastructure, because we are building DeFi's internet of liquidity. We are not like just saying we are building bridge, even though the name deBridge assumes like decentralized bridge, but our vision is actually bigger. We build that DeFi, all the protocols, all the users should be interconnected in real time. We believe that information and liquidity should flow seamlessly between any blockchain ecosystems without any friction. And this is super important. It's like the way information flows on internet, between different countries and between users. The same principles should be applicable for the cross-chain environment, where just like users don't need to think about like the chain they use, but they can just use any application on any chain, and the information between all those chains and the liquidity between all those chains is getting transferred like instantly in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the internet, where like when the internet was emerging, where right now like people browsing on a web browser, they don't have to think about who's hosting them and what's happening on the back end. They just they type in a URL and they end up where they need to be. So it's a similar idea, but of course on a Web3 sense with liquidity, and because our model has like a networking model to it. It enables this ability for like an economies of scale, where as the users grow, as the solver network grows, the network becomes more efficient, the UX becomes more clean and seamless, and it has like this economies of scale effect to it, and everyone's just having a better UX out of it.
Yeah, and another fact to quickly mention that we've been thinking about like horizontal scalability, because deBridge is also the most scalable bridge, since we don't need to bootstrap liquidity pools on all the chains. We just like have the network of solvers or private market makers who just like efficiently manage their own inventory. That's why basically the goal is like to build this like internet of liquidity where any chain can plug into deBridge. And we have an interesting concept that we pioneered that is called EAS, interoperability as a service, where any event chain or any SVM chain can just like seamlessly plug into deBridge by initiating subscription, decentralized subscription through the deBridge smart contract. And yeah, so far we have more than 10 different blockchain ecosystems who initiated that subscription, and the interesting thing here is that like blockchains don't need to back bridges anymore about integration. Like they don't need to pay grants. They just can go to the deBridge Explorer website, click on EAS tab, and get connected to the most secure cross-chain infrastructure today by simply paying monthly subscription that is $10,000 per month. And that's what 10 different blockchain ecosystems are already doing. And all that revenue as well goes to deBridge treasury. So that's also an interesting revenue flow. So basically at the end of the day, like in 5 years, I believe that we'll have like any chain. Our DeFi life will be like cross-chain and multi-chain, and like even different like private companies and banks will be launching their own ecosystem, even like private or permission ecosystem. And I believe that like deBridge will be at the very heart of this, enabling very efficient and instant transfers of assets and information between this DeFi verse.
Yeah, also wanted to add, like in terms of our vision for the cross-chain space as a whole, we don't really see this as like a zero-sum game. We see it as every ecosystem will serve its own purpose and have its own wedge in the whole crypto ecosystem, and we're just trying to interconnect these networks in the fastest and seamless way possible.
Okay, awesome to hear. We also do have another question that we can ask you. What community-driven initiatives or ambassador programs do you have in place to spread awareness about deBridge and DBR?
So actually, we never had programs, before, but that's something that we are working on now to like work out some interesting incentive or program, to engage community even more. But actually for deBridge, like in deBridge, we like raised only, the bare minimum amount of funding needed to bootstrap the infrastructure and make it and break even, make it profitable, right? So like compared to like other bridging solutions in deBridge, we've been very, reasonable in terms of the amount of funding that we raised so far. And that's why, like in terms of community, our like ambassadors or community members just engage like naturally because they love the product, they love the UX, and basically our users are our community ambassadors, just like spreading the word about deBridge on social networks, like telling about their experience to their friends, and work like super efficiently. And I would just like to give, a huge shout out to our community and users because like without them, like this kind of adoption like wouldn't be possible because so far like deBridge has processed more than $4 billion in trading volumes and generated more than $13 million in the transaction fees for the deBridge treasury. But yeah, as I mentioned, ambassador program is something that we are working on. So if you would like to be ambassador or if you're passionate about the cross-chain space, feel free to reach out to us on our socials or on our Twitter. And yeah, we'll be happy to jam on ideas, and think how we can collaborate together.
Yeah, and also wanted to mention, like to date so far, yeah, like Alex mentioned, we've been heavily focused on building a product that users love and really want, and then naturally, just in a organic way, people are just talking about us and very passionate about us.
Yeah, because we never like did the paid marketing before. Like the product speaks for itself, and that's why users just like naturally distribute the information and act as our community ambassadors. And yeah, that's super exciting and awesome to see.
Awesome to hear. That's exciting. I hope everyone got that. I hope everyone starts following you on your socials to stay tuned to more updates from deBridge, and also stay tuned for the token splash that we mentioned before. Like we said before, there's 900,000 DBR token splash we've got for you. So make sure you sign up for that campaign. And that's a wrap for today's pop-up live stream. We hope you're just as excited as we are for tomorrow's listing of deBridge. Alex, Gal, thank you so much for joining us here. That's been amazing. Make sure to stay tuned for more live streams because we've got plenty more listing launches and giveaways coming your way. Until next time, stay savvy, stay ready, and stay with Bybit. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.